Hey guys, welcome to day 5.
Day 5. Friday. Happy Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So, Joe shaved today.
Shaved off.
I showered, so we are winning at life.
It's good. It's a good day.
It's a good day. We're just thinking a lot about like how being home for all of us is really forcing us to look at our lives a little bit differently. So still holding on to like the things that are important to us, and also this way of living for however long it might be is also forcing new habits. So habits amongst teams, habits with your health and your wellness, mentally and physically. And so we kind of made this all about creating sustainable habits. I talk a lot through my program about ways in which you create more sustainable habits. So we'll go through the 5 ways, and then Joe will kind of talk a little bit about how that relates to teams and working from home.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's intentional or unintentional in this time, new habits are going to be made, right? You just have a new daily routine. And if you're not conscious, then you'll start to form bad habits. There's a lot, you always talk about, everyone's posting about what you should be doing, but we're talking about what do you believe you need to be doing? Like you personally are the only person who knows what you need right now.
Yeah.
So habits is a big thing.
Yeah. And if, you're falling into bad habits can be almost like natural as human beings.
Totally.
Whereas intentionality allows us to really fall into better habits.
So what are the 5 things that you teach? I know them, but what are the 5 things that you teach?
So one is really looking at the big picture, evaluating your life as a whole and the life you really want to create for yourself and your loved ones. Mm-hmm. So always kind of staying focused on that big picture, that overall why and what's really motivating you. Always going back to your goals. So revisiting your big goals and really keeping those at the forefront, and only you know what that looks like. So like Joe said, that's very personal. So we all have different ones, and really revisiting that frequently. Also starting with small changes. So forming new habits take time, and it doesn't always happen overnight. So really starting and making those small changes, like one day at a time. One thing I want to start doing more is longer meditation and breathing in the morning. So really getting centered and grounded. And I've realized that now I have time for that. So just taking it kind of one day at a time. And like we talked about, being intentional. So, really just making sure that, you're intentional with the changes. Finding accountability is huge, number 5. So we keep each other accountable. And during this time where some people live alone, or, you may not have like in-house accountability, making sure that you're staying connected online. So there's a ton of online groups out there, resources, and just being connected is going to be huge during this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's very similar. I mean, we could basically steal those 5 things for business, right? And as you're working with your team and you're thinking about what habits are you forming daily as a team, are you communicating less? Are you communicating more? Are you working through problems with your customers in a more intentional way, right? And it ties back to kind of what you talked about, the big picture. What's the big picture of how you will come out of this professionally on the other side, how your team, how your organization, any of it. I mean, some personal goals I have are even just, I want to journal more. I feel like for my whole life I've been told that is an important thing, and I never do it. But that's a habit I can begin to insert in. I didn't need this situation to start it, but honestly, it's something I can really be more intentional about now. And I think the accountability is huge when it comes to habits and what emotion is driving the habits that we're forming. Mm-hmm. One of the quotes that we talk about is courage, just like fear, is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Robbins says that. And it's true. And so what emotion is driving this habit, and what's the big picture? What's the dream? What are the small incremental changes that you can make right now that are going to make those changes. So I think it's just really important. It's time where we can all make change. Habits will be formed, good and bad, and we have control over that. So try to focus on the good, focus on new habits that tie to some big goal that you want to achieve, and build on that. Okay, that's about it. I'll start shaving every other day now.
And I'll try to shower daily. Just kidding.
Happy Friday.
See you guys.
Later.